You guys are streaming? Okay, but you need to let me know because it says meeting is now streaming on my page. Okay, guys, I need to know this stuff. Okay, so now you guys are seeing in a real moment again. I really need to know so I can start the context. Let me finish it up on this and then we'll know when we're streaming so I can start the challenge, which they're doing right now. So the reason why I teach the stacking is to get you, it doesn't matter what tactic, it's to actually keep you moving from tactic to tactic to tactic so that you have success because you're out there momentum. Make sense? Yes? All right, has this been helpful, you guys? Go into the chat and just say yes or no. Can you let me know when I'm streaming? 5 minutes, it says I'm streaming right now.
You're live.
Oh, you guys, am I live or am I not live? Okay, I'm live. All right, thank you. We're gonna have to change the way we do this next time. Okay, you guys, VIP, I'm gonna shift to the whole room. Are you guys good? I'm gonna shift to the whole room right now. Hey, you guys, welcome to the 14-day revenue challenge. I'm sending you guys so much love. I want you guys to go inside the chats, inside the Facebook group. We are on YouTube as well, which is so exciting. I just finished with the VIPs, you guys in VIP. I hope that it was powerful so far, just day one, to start your mind moving on the monetization and really being able to wrap your head around what it takes to really be someone who finishes on the finish line. And so we were talking to VIP this morning at 8:15, and we started with the conversation of me letting them know that only 10% of people ever actually hit the finish line. Only 10% of people actually hit the finish line, which is absolutely epic when you look at those numbers. And so you guys, I just want to, we're streaming on so many different platforms right now that I'm actually just looking at them so that we're, okay, great. I say, great. And you guys, I'm just so that you guys can see this, as we're kind of shifting into the 14-day revenue challenge, we're streaming on YouTube, we're streaming in the Facebook group, and we've got VIPs right here. And what happens at that point is that you have a lot of moving parts. And I want to share this with you because as I'm looking at the different pages, it might take me a couple minutes to understand what's on what page. Like for instance, you guys are on the screen, which is now not letting me see my screen, right? And so we are going to do this different tomorrow so that I can actually stay focused in one place. Awesome. So here's the deal. So this is day one, and hold on, you guys, stop, please. Love you all so much. And I've got multiple things going on. This is not up there, and I've got multiple things going on, and I want to be able to lead these guys really powerfully because for 14 days, we are going to make some incredible changes in your business, in your revenue, and I take your business really seriously. So what's up here and what's here is not the same. And next time I can't have a stream start in the middle. And you guys, this is really what it looks like. Do you know what I mean? This is really what it looks like, is that you can see what it really looks like. I was just working with VIPs. We're starting 4 minutes early in the group. We've got emails saying we're starting in 4 minutes from now. So this is what a complete breakdown looks like. And it's perfect for today because we're going to be talking about revenue and we're going to be talking about how to actually create more money and more revenue inside of your business. I'm still doubled right now. And what that means is you got to find what's working. And you guys in VIP, we were talking about this morning. You literally, in the heat of a breakdown, have to figure out what's working, right? So if you've ever studied anything to do with speaking, the way you start anything matters. And we started completely all over the place. Right? And so that is not the best way to start anything. So let me just pop over here so I can see you guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And now you're seeing me shift. So I'm going to have to focus here because unfortunately what's here and what's there are two totally different things. So I'm actually going to recommend maybe you guys switch this over.
There's Facebook there.
I know, but when I'm speaking, I'm not speaking to myself. You guys move something up. Sorry, guys. Okay. This is my worst start to a challenge ever in my entire life. And you're watching it live. Yeah, you guys, come here. Just come here. Just come here. Come here. Look at what I'm seeing. Someone who can do something about it. So there's me 10 minutes or a couple minutes ago, right? So I cannot speak to myself here and have this. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
either I'm going to be looking down the entire time. Maybe that's Facebook.
So
It
this
needs to be my Zoom.
This needs to be Zoom, and this needs to be Zoom.
Okay. Okay, thanks. I love breakdowns in live fashion. Okay, so now are we in the right spots? Because that says no signal now. Okay, geez, Louise, you got me sweating over here. Okay, now my computer just went down. Okay. Okay, now I'm perfect. I'm great. I'm on. Okay. Don't touch anything. Okay, guys. So let me restart the 14-day revenue challenge. You guys good? Can we restart this? Okay. Welcome to the 14-day revenue challenge, where breakdowns are prone to happen, and we're excited about rocking your world for the next 14 days. So here's the deal. We are going to run Monday through Friday where I'm streaming. And where I'm streaming, I'm going to be teaching you every single day different revenue tactics to be able to move your business to the next level. So if 10% of people actually finish anything they start, like if you buy a course and only 10% of the people actually finish, doesn't that drive you nuts? I mean, I've purchased products and I've been guilty of it sitting in my inbox or sitting on my shelf. Back in the day, they used to sit on your shelf. Now they sit in a file somewhere on your computer because everything's digital. And I've not finished them because it takes a lot of discipline. In fact, in the Facebook group for this challenge, I was talking the other day about how it's taken me 2 months to update my morning routine. But what is my morning routine? I get up, I drink 32 ounces of water, then I read my scripture, and then I study something with business. But when I've got any sort of stress in my life, I feel, and tell me if you guys are the same, go in the chats, go in the comment sections, tell me if you're the same, that when I feel any sort of stress, I can feel like the urgency pushing me, like it's like this hurried energy. Does anybody else feel that? Do you get that hurried energy? Go in the chat or the comment section, let me see. Hurried energy. So hurried energy is actually fear of intimacy. It's fear of intimacy. And what that means is that when you're moving really fast, the reason why you're fearful of intimacy is because in intimacy is where money's made. In intimacy is where connection is created. In intimacy is where you actually solve the problems. You have to actually like even opening up this challenge, how the breakdowns were happening all around me. I could have just faked it and rolled through it 100%, but I'd be doing the entire day one challenge looking at myself on a 3-minute, 4-minute delay, which would mean that I couldn't be in intimacy with you to deliver the content that I'm delivering now. Do you see a difference in my all in? Like I was distracted and now I'm all in. So when we get busy, it's actually the furthest thing from creating money. True story. When I got into real estate, I mean, it was when Blackberries were around. I was going to grab my phone, but my phone's disappeared somewhere. Literally, pretend this is my phone. I would be on my Blackberry 24/7. You'd be talking to me and I'd be on my Blackberry 24/7. And there was a level of, I felt like I was important if I was busy. And I don't think it was conscious at all, but I literally was so busy that I was too busy to actually make money. In other words, has anybody watching right now and the deals you're working on, you're absolutely tired that they're not coming together the way you want them to? Like you're working your tail off, but things are not coming together the way they're supposed to. Like, welcome to my old story. Welcome to my old story. That was my old story. And if you're in that story right now, I promise you that I can move you out of that, but you need to show up for the revenue challenge every single day. And I'm not saying that because it solves a problem for me. I'm saying that because I was saying to the VIPs, if you're a VIP and you don't have your video on, you're kidding yourself, right? We've got to hold ourselves accountable and show up all the way, be all in. Cut out the distractions. We got to cut out the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. So there's 3 things that I want to be talking to you about for the next, 45 minutes. Hopefully this doesn't mess you up. Here, I'll put this right here so it doesn't. Okay, there's three things I want to be talking to you about. Number one, and write this down, is that you have to look for how things are working out. Like, could you imagine if at the beginning of this live, day one of the challenge, and could you imagine if I would have imploded with the 3 different platforms going on at the same time? The team the team's all doing their best, but they don't know what's happening if I can't communicate it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to stop, no matter whether you're watching or not. I have to get intimate with the moment and fix it. I need to solve the problem so that I can see it working out versus being committed to looking good. I need you to hear this right now, because money loves power. Money loves courage. It wants nothing to do with the looking good conversation. Success, it leaves clues. And the biggest clue is that strong leaders have an ability to walk through the breakdown and realign it, and they don't attach to it. Doesn't mean anything about them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like us breaking down, it doesn't change my identity. It doesn't change my identity whatsoever. It doesn't change my ability to, in fact, it enhances my ability to make money. It enhances my ability to be a better mother. It enhances my ability to be a better friend. It enhances my ability to be a better CEO, because we can solve the problem quicker if I can stand in the heat of the fire and still lead with full courage and confidence. Okay, so confidence doesn't come until competency comes. Some of you guys who have been following me for a while, you know I say that all the time. It was Dan Sullivan who taught that to me. Another thing that leaders do is they give credit to the people who taught them things. They don't sit there and claim other people's stuff, right? When you learn something from somebody else, you don't claim it, you share it. So the real way that I wanted to open up this challenge is to tell you that everything you've been working on gets to come together. It gets to come together. And if you've been working on growing a business, if you've been working on creating more money or revenue in your life, then for 14 days, if you were to prioritize it with me, then you're going to have some movement in that area. If you get distracted, then you're not going to have the movement that you want. And so distractions, by the way, when your mental capacity, and this goes back to step 1 around seeing things working out, when your mental capacity goes into breakdown, you start to get distracted. Who can see an area of your life you're distracted in right now? Go in the chat, the comments. Who can see an area? And if you know the area, put it down. Be like, I'm distracted with my kids. I'm distracted with my relationship. I'm distracted with, my boss. I'm distracted with a negative client. I'm distracted with my sister. I'm distracted with my husband or wife losing their job, right? So I'm distracted with taxes. I'm distracted with looking good. I'm distracted with being a caregiver, cheap clients. I'm distracted with worrying about what people will say about me. I'm distracted with organizing my time. My dog, my kids, I'm distracted with learning more and more and more, right? So this is powerful. So you guys should all look at whatever platform you're on right now. Look at the chats. Okay, look at the chats. And the reason why I say look at the chats is because you need to not feel alone in this game. You need to not feel alone in this game. Okay, this is from VIP, so I'm just going to flip it over. What you need to do, in my opinion, this is just what has unhooked me from the days of disappointment when things often didn't come together for me financially. And what I realized is that I can change the game for myself. Who's ever read the book Tiny Habits from BJ Fogg? Anybody read the book Tiny Habits from BJ Fogg? Sue, yes. Spencer, yes. Okay, so I recommend everybody do that. No, I'm not an affiliate of theirs. I'm called a leader, and a leader shares good things with other leaders like you to get ahead. Okay, so one of the characteristics of leaders is we are evangelists. How many people shared this challenge with a friend? How many people shared this challenge with a friend? Right? It's a great reality check. So some of you guys did, yes, right? So it's a great reality check To be a great leader, you need to be an evangelist. If tactics got you to success, then everybody would be successful. I was talking to VIPs about this. Everybody would be successful because most of the tactics you've learned, there's a tactic for writing a good book. There's a tactic for a marketing plan for a Wall Street or New York Times bestseller. There's a tactic for getting signed on by a publisher. There's a tactic for making money. There is a tactic for negotiating. There is a tactic for a great phone script to a sale. There is a tactic for developing a great upsell model for a funnel. There is a tactic. Do you guys get me? There is a tactic for everything. But if you're going to make it, you need to be the leader that sees things coming together. And if I ever spell anything wrong, for all my dyslexic people out there, welcome to the world of courage. It doesn't matter if you're broken, if you're imperfect, if you can't spell, if you suck at writing, if you suck at sales. I'm going to tell you, so many analyzers think you suck at sales and you're amazing at sales. You just need to develop your leadership. You just need to develop your leadership. That's it. And so this was a huge aha for me in making money, because I thought if I just kept chasing the tactics, if I do a webinar, I'll be successful because Joe was successful. If I do an event, I'll be successful because Suzanne was successful. If I was blank, I would be successful. I'm going to tell you, every single mentor except for one now, I have actually exceeded their revenue goals in a quarter of the time. The reason why that's powerful for you to understand is you can do it too. You really can. This is what I focused on. I focused on leadership. I think one of the smartest things Dean Graziosi ever did in his business, and he's the only mentor that I haven't exceeded yet, is joint venture with Tony Robbins. Why? Because whether you like Tony Robbins or not, he's a phenomenal leader. His superpower is to get you to jump up and down and change your emotional state, deal with your trauma, and take action. Everybody thinks the tactic is the thing, but you're the freaking engine. You're the engine. I had a 23-year-old sit in one of my masterminds, and she said, actually, that's not true. She was 21. She said, the best thing a mentor ever taught me was to focus on my leadership. She goes, to focus on my leadership. That little girl, in my opinion, at 21 is still a little girl. That little girl literally was making $2 million a year. And the only thing she focused on was her leadership. She didn't focus on her business tactics. She didn't focus on any of that. It was her leadership. Why am I telling you this? Most of you guys are going to experience, if you make it to the 1%, and it doesn't take a lot to make it to the 1%. It takes doing less, being highly focused, and being one heck of a great leader, which means that when you decide to do something, do you cross the finish line? And let me give you a caveat to that. I don't care if you don't like what you're doing. I'm not here to be your friend right now. I'm here to be the coach that actually moves the dial. The coach that actually helps you move the dial. Okay, so we didn't sign up for this to be besties, although I'm sure I would love many of you. It's actually to get you across the finish line financially. I'm going to teach you tactics every day, but if you're okay with it, I'm going to teach you leadership along the way, because it's the leadership and the leaders that I bring in to teach you tactics. While they're teaching you the tactics, I want you to pay attention to the way that they think, not from an analytical, smart way. I mean, I grew up with somebody telling me I was stupid my entire early part of my life. And so that was a trauma piece I had to fight with a lot, and still do, really. You know, so now I know that the smartest people are not at the top. I know it's not a prerequisite for me to be in the place that I am now or the place I want to go, right? So I've unhooked from that, because I actually know without a doubt, you don't have to be smart to get to the top. For some of you smart people, that drives you nuts, because maybe you got a PhD and really smartened yourself all the way. But I only know one person that went to Harvard that is crushing it financially. Almost all of them are either dropouts or they've self-educated. Well, they've all self-educated on programs like this. They've self-educated themselves and they're relentless at focusing on their leadership. You got it? Can you hear me there? So when the trainers are training, you got to watch yourself. First of all, show up every single day. But when the trainers are training, I want you to actually pay attention to how are they leading. And don't connect things like they're confident. They're only confident because now they're competent. You're going to be confident in what you're learning too. After you take action on it and get a result, then you will be confident too. Half the reason why people are not confident is because they actually think it's a prerequisite for success. It's not. Is this helping? Is this helping your mind a little bit? Because I'm hoping to get through some of these walls that have kept you stuck, that have had you quit on things that if you would have went all the way, you would have hit confidence, competency, and massive financial success. Do you know how many people I see? I have a client right now who is literally the most amazing sweetheart. And she's in the first step of starting to lose the understanding that things are coming together. This is somebody who could do $200,000 in a weekend and is debating shutting down her business and going and taking another job. In a job that I'm going to tell you is not her superpower. Why? Because the carrot looks good over here. Okay, and she's doing $200,000 in a weekend. Now, if she grew up and said, I love marketing and I want to create this, that's totally different. That could be a leverage point. But that is not, she never desired to run any sort of an agency. She's not lost, but she's getting lost. Why is she getting lost? Because she's not focused on things that are coming together right now. And so when you hit a hard moment, what happens is people get lost. Who's seeing yourself right now? Go in the chat. Who's seeing yourself right now? Second thing that you need to focus on. First one's freaking more important than anything on the planet, because every tactic you're going to learn in the 14-day revenue challenge works. And it's not a matter of will it work for you or not. It's actually a matter of will you be the leader to lead it so it comes together. I'm going to give you one caveat. You should write this in stars. You don't ever quit anything in your life until you hit the desired result. I don't care if it's a job. I don't care if it's a relationship. I don't care what it is. You don't quit. Unless you're abused in a relationship. And the reason why is your own leadership gets hit every time you back down. You can justify it all you want, but you back down because you didn't have the leadership to take it to a finish line. And you will keep going in all the different tactics and you will still not get the results that you want. I had a great leader say to me on Sunday, you want friends around you that will give you real feedback. The reason why is because you don't want to be in a community of people that don't tell you what's really breaking down in your blind spot. And most people quit because they justify quitting. I can't tell you, if you learn nothing else on this challenge, that's the most important thing right there. I don't ever quit till I hit the desired result. And you know what's amazing when you hit the desired result? Half the time you don't want to quit. Number two, you need to look at what is going to be a financial win for you. So when you look for like a financial win, I want you to think about this tonight. Okay, I want you to think about this tonight. What type of money do you want to make? What type of money do you want to make? Don't get stuck in your product or service. Okay, so if you're brand new to business, you're still going to crush it in this 14-day revenue challenge. You got 14 ways to make money, my friends. Pick one, right? And learn about the others, but pick one and go deep. You get it? So, but you need to understand what would be a financial win for me. How are you ever going to know if you're quitting too early if you don't have a very, very specific win on the back end of it? So I'm going to grab my calculator real quick. So if I go, give you an example of this. If I say to you, I want you to pay attention. I actually did this in the Facebook group the other day, a little bit different, but I did this in the Facebook group. Okay, so if you're not in our Coach Yourself to Success Facebook group, you need to be. Okay, so whether you have to email clientcare@heartcorebusiness.com, or do we have a link or something we could drop in all the chats for the Facebook group to make sure everybody's in the Facebook group? Who's not in the Facebook group right now? Go in the chat, go in the chats or comment section and put Facebook group. Facebook group. If you are not in the Facebook group, put Facebook group so our team can see you and make sure that we get you a link. And for our team, if they can go one by one to each of these people and give them the link, okay? Okay, so here's the thing. They'll drop the link for the Facebook group, but in case you miss it. Okay, so if I said to you right now, if I said, okay, who has an email list of 7,000 people or more? 7,000 people or more. Go in the chat, say yes or no. Yes or no. 7,000 people or more. Yes or no. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of no's and I'm seeing a couple yeses. Seeing a lot of no's and a couple yeses. Okay, so a lot of no's and a couple yeses. Okay, so here's the deal. If you want to make good money, you got to control your audience. Okay, you must control your audience. It's not about your product. It's not about your product. Pay attention to everybody who trains. You're going to hear them reference an audience. I recommend an audience in an email list. The reason why is because you own it, right? You own it. We rent social media. If you go look at my Instagram, Shanda Sumter. Go look at my Instagram. I have 104,000 people on my Instagram. That's a lot. 104,000 people is a lot of people. Can we relate? That's a lot of people. Okay. With that, go look at my comments. 60 comments, 70 comments, 100 comments, 150 comments. Okay, so that's a problem. How many of you guys are intending on building big social media platforms? Okay, so how long do you think it took me to build 103,000 people? A minute, a few minutes, right? And so if I was relying on my social platforms, I got to teach you how to think, because otherwise you're going to get caught in the drift of the marketing campaigns. My intention for this revenue challenge is literally whatever you invest in, that you invest in it better because of this revenue challenge. I'm going to teach you how to think about these things because the step you're in matters. Okay. So if you're putting all in on the social platforms because Gary Vee told you to, who's an amazing marketer, but he's also an agency. Okay. He's an agency and he gets paid big amounts of money for posting on social media and advising these different like big corporations. Well, I'm going to tell you what my book agent said to me the other day. They asked me if I'd be willing to do some stuff to our email list because they know that their big customers and clients that are corporations aren't wanting to invest in Instagram anymore because only 7% of Instagram people actually see your posts. Think about that for a second, you guys. So imagine if all my buckets were in my Instagram. Now I'm back on Instagram because Clubhouse and Instagram connect, right? So I'm on it and I haven't left it, but my eggs are not in that basket. My eggs are on the email. Okay. And then I pull people off social media into my email like every other smart person does. Why? Because it's the most valuable asset. So focus on building it. And I'm not talking about offering a free gift on your blog that nobody comes to your blog. That's just as bad as like chasing a social media channel to build it, to trip over I mean, I have people who've been at my house with 1 million people on TikTok and they're doing okay, but they're not doing as good as my first year, second year clients that are focused on their email list and they're converting like insane numbers. Hear what I'm saying? Okay, so if I told you, if I literally said to you, $25,000 cash, sell a $5,000, now watch your head for a second, sell a $5,000 product, right? Sell a $5,000 product and sell 15 of them. That's 25,000, right? Is that right? 25,000? Yes, that's $25,000. Okay, so now, ask yourself right now, where in here do you get stuck? Say I gave you a challenge and I said, I want you to create $25,000. This is a revenue challenge. If I said, I want to challenge you to create $25,000, and here's the formula. The formula is to sell 15 people a $5,000 package. And if you can do that in the next 30 days, or I'll say 60, if you can do that next 60 days, then I will give you $500,000. Where do you get stuck? If I'm your coach, just give me the grace or give me the authority to be your coach. If I was your coach, where do you honestly get stuck when I say that? I get stuck on the 5,000. I get stuck on selling and closing of my program. What product? Thank you, Kim. Anybody else? Where do you get stuck? I get stuck on where to start. I get stuck on closing. I get stuck on what's the product. 5,000 seems high. Where to start? Self-doubt. I get stuck on marketing and visibility, my worth. I get stuck on finding 15 people, how to put it all together. Okay, so I want everybody to look, whatever platform you're on. If you're not engaging right now, please engage. Remember I said, if you need to develop the habits and the behaviors of a strong leader, because those are the only ones at the top. It's not the product and it's not the intelligence. Okay, it's always the leadership. Leaders are evangelists, which means that they share. They don't just share like join this challenge, it's amazing. They also share on the chats. They just do. They never sit idle. Could you imagine Tony Robbins sitting here watching this right now, being quiet? And it's not about his personality. It's about actually contributing. Your voice matters, and contributing in the chats actually matter. Okay, because people see it. Now, I want you to also receive. A great leader can receive. I'm so tired of hearing people that are controlling personalities, which is, by the way, a leadership quadrant. Controllers are amazing, but when you're unhealthy, you can't receive. Okay, and I hear people say, I'm a shitty receiver. Okay, stop claiming that. You're prophesizing that over your life. I can hear somebody in here. So stop prophesizing that over your life. Okay, so your words matter. They create. I tell this to my 6-year-old all the time. They create. If you study law of attraction, I happen to be biblical. Law of attraction has been pulled out of the Bible. It actually does work. You create it. Okay, so that being said, look at the chat and see what came up for people. You need to identify with the fact that it is a thought pattern. It is not real. It is a thought pattern. It is not real. You can give me a product, like you can give me my friend Drew Canoli's Organifi product. And if you gave me this formula, and I could give this to Drew, I could give this challenge to Drew. I could say, Drew, I want you to sell 15 $5,000 products for 25,000. I almost guarantee you what he would say, just because it comes down to our number one on the other page, our leadership. He's not going to be boxed in on his product. Do you know what he's going to do? He's going to say something, I would imagine. I should phone him and ask him to share with me. If I give you this challenge, Drew, what would you say? I guarantee you he would say something like this. He'd probably say, you know what? I'd go out to my email list. I'd let them know that I'm going to work with, what? Oh, it's 75K. Sorry. Oh, that's even better. See, I told you, you don't have to be smart to be at the top. 75,000. It's 75,000 on 25,000. Thank you. So I guarantee you what he would say is Drew would definitely most likely say, I'd go out to my email list and I'd let them know I'm going to work with 15 people and show them how to develop a funnel to sell a product. And when they called, or when they registered or whatever, or when they go to this video where he does a presentation, because the freaking tactic doesn't matter. Everybody thinks it's the challenge or the summit or the funnel. It's like, no, none of that matters. How you lead it matters, right? Like, so he might send an email to his list to go to a video, and maybe he has a video presentation, and because he believes in this offer, now here's where breakdown happens. Maybe somebody put in the chat, I don't believe in that offer. I don't believe in that offer. Okay, so then you're proving my point. It's not about the offer. It's actually about, and I was teaching this to VIP, and hopefully VIP are getting this in a deeper way. The offer is about how you package. And remember, Drew sells a physical product, Organifi. But all he did was take something else and package it. And I guarantee you, they would also get Organifi. I'm sure once they purchase their product, they get a box in the mail with Organifi, probably, because now, remember, number one is noticing things are working. I want this to come together, and it will, right? You can rewatch this. Number one is a leader that sees things coming together. We don't get caught in the tactic, okay? So literally, he's gonna go, I sell Organifi. I'm gonna package it where I'm gonna teach 15 people how to build a funnel. You might say, I can't build a funnel. Follow the coaching. Follow the coaching. Okay, maybe you've raised kids. Your life is worth more than $5,000. Your life experience, I don't care what it is. There is something in your life that is worth $5,000 for people to invest in. People get so caught up in their product that they miss the wealth. And they miss the wealth because they're not thinking about, what do people need around me? They get so fixated on creating the result, the money, the sales, that they actually miss the way that sales happen. Revenue comes to strong leaders, period. And what you're willing to do matters. And thinking about how do things come together and getting in the mind of this works and this works and this works, then it stops you from innovating shit that doesn't work because you're focused on where you're going. So if this is my formula, many of you guys just need formula. And then you need to develop your leadership behind the formula to create the result, even if you don't have the time, don't have the resources, don't have. You need to challenge yourself to do it anyway. So say it goes 15 people, I'll show them how to do a funnel, drop ships, Organifi to their house. Now you might think, well, now only 15 people got Organifi. Yeah, but he made $75,000. Maybe he's gonna take that $75,000 and put it into ads. So he just created the money. You see that? So, but this isn't my passion. Yeah, but the $75,000 that goes to your passion is, whether it's hiring a virtual assistant, whether it's paying for ads if you choose to go that route. I can show you how to list build with no paid advertisement. Who'd be interested in that? No paid advertisement list building, right? Go in the chat. Tell me yes if you're interested in that. Okay, so now he might add a letter in that Organifi package that connects people to actually become a partner of Organifi and spread the news. He might even target 100 entrepreneurs that he knows and make them this offer. Do you see how I'm finding what's working? Because Drew now also has friends. This is why commenting on people's stuff in the Facebook group matters. How do you think Drew created friends? He paid to be inside masterminds so he can create friendships. But you don't get friendships just because you do the tactic of paying to get in a mastermind. Who are you when you get into the mastermind? Are you giving? Are you generous? Do you comment, or is it too much? Commenting is too much. Being in the Facebook group is too much, right? Do you notice? I'm trying to really highlight blind spots, because if you justify those blind spots of how you pull back, then money will always be your master. I'm here to flip the switch on that. I'm biblical. 2,000 times money has been talked about in the Bible. That means you are supposed to master it. And if there's anything, you don't have to turn to my God beliefs, but I have a mission to flip the switch on that, because money is supposed to be mastered by you, not the other way around. So what if I told you that I want you to do, what if I told you, for some of you guys who are really ambitious, if I said, okay, so do 10,000 and find 50 people, which equals 500,000. Okay, so I know some people might be really ambitious and say, well, I got a need to create 500,000, 500,000. Well, now let me give you a mind hack, a money-making mind hack. If 500,000 was a yearly income I made, then all I had to do is enroll 50 people in a $10,000 product, and I had 12 months, 365 days to enroll 50 people, 50. Do you really think that this is hard? It's not. You know people in your life that are doing this. If you're around my community, you see people who don't even know what their offer is doing these types of numbers. I have people that are doing $500,000 a year that still don't know their messaging, or even if their product is the thing that they want to sell. Because money is easy to make when you master it. Now, what you do with this money is what excites me, because I know it connects to things that you care about. I know it connects to your freedom. I know it connects to people you love. I know it connects to healthcare, which is important these days. I know it connects to the donations that you make. I know that some marriages would stay together if money wasn't the stress between them, or the two couples could have their own money because they think about money differently. I know these things, right? So you can see my mission behind here. And what I'm trying to do is bridge the gap so you realize that this is more in your control than you think. Whether it's $75,000 in the bank with 15 people, or 50 for $500,000. If you had all year to do this, you'd be great. But the amazing thing is that if you take an annual goal, or any goal, and you cut it in half, you have more likely of a shot to hit it. Do you know that? Let me repeat that. However long you give yourself to hit a goal, if you cut that time in half, you have a better chance of hitting it. This is not a Shandaism. This is actually facts on actually creating results. Why? Because if you can increase your tempo of urgency, think about going on a vacation. How many people, when you go on a vacation, the last 3 days before the vacation, you get everything done? Like, you wish that you could work like that all the time? Well, the truth is you can. You can. You're giving yourself too much space to actually not follow through. You got to up the urgency. And when you up the tempo and the urgency, what happens is the momentum builds. And then I'm always afraid of taking that momentum off, because if I do, I know what it took to get myself up to the plate in the first place. Back in the day when my mom would go, well, I lost the weight, I'm good. I deserve it. It's like, that is the most dangerous thing on the planet to say, because that's called, I am breaking my momentum. Why not just have a lifetime of healthiness? Why not have a lifetime of financial freedom? Why don't we have a lifetime of actually developing our schedules so that we have time in them to actually enjoy our life while we're crushing it, which is why I take off 5.5 months a year. And I am crazy when people come into what I call flex time, my week off. I'm crazy about it. It drives me nuts, because that is how I designed my schedule. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Okay, so I designed it for a very specific reason. It fits my leadership. If I break my schedule, my leadership becomes a problem, and all of this then falls apart. We're going to keep going over this as we move forward. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you the lever, the big piece on this that actually makes a huge difference. Am I buffering on Facebook? Which makes a big difference is that the list. The thing that actually makes a big difference in hitting these numbers, do you think if you had an email list of, let's just say 2,000 or more, 2,000 or more, that 15 people would want to actually, like, do you think that would be possible? You guys go in the chat. If I had a list of 2,000 or more, do you think it would be possible for me to enroll 15 people? Yes. Do you think I'd be able to enroll 50 with 2,000 or more? 50 for 2,000 or more? Do you think 50 people out of 2,000 might be interested? Yes. Now, where it starts to get safe is when you start to get 7,000, 10,000 people on an email list. You start to be able to make, the really, really good money, And so again, it depends. The caveat is really your leadership. That really is the secret sauce, is you developing your ability to go out there and make offers, to take offers. And this is going to lead me to the next piece, to create the money that you need when you need it. You have to be resourceful. It's not about innovation. Everybody thinks it's about innovation. It's actually about resourcefulness. And what I mean by that is that when you go back to this, you got to be a leader that sees things coming together. Otherwise, you won't solve the problems you all put in the chat when I put up, sell 15 people a $5,000 product. You won't solve the problem unless you actually or someone sees things coming together. You'll actually drive yourself to a quit or a distraction if you don't start leading yourself like that. Secondly, financial win. What's the formula? What's the formula? Don't get so attached to it. What's the amount of money that you want to make? And how many of what do you need to sell to make that? After you come up with that, you move yourself into a package. How do I develop a package? That's why it makes me cry when people spend a lot of time on their products before they actually have built their list, right? So the financial win will come down to your list and your package. So that should fine tune, like, what do I focus on? Do you have a list of 7,000 or more? If not, we need to focus on that. So when you're learning the different tactics, come to every day of the revenue challenge. But when you learn them, ask yourself, how does this develop me a list? How does this help me? Like when Barry teaches on day 3, so on Wednesday when Barry teaches, she's going to teach about how to monetize virtually in multiple different ways, using different styles of virtual events, which doesn't matter if it's a product, it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's a presentation to invest in, like as a financial advisor, or if you're a coach or consultant, or it doesn't matter. It's just presentation is like in one world, they call it a presentation. In another world, they call it a seminar. In another world, they call it a webinar. In another world, they call it a challenge. They're just all, they're all the same thing. Every tribe calls it a different thing. In network marketing, they call it a meeting, right? It's just all the same thing, my friends, right? So she's going to teach you on Wednesday how to monetize in so many different ways. She does Tony Robbins events. We introduced her to Dean Graziosi, who then introduced her to Tony. She's been doing our events for a while. She does Jeff Walker's, who he's coming to train. Woo woo! She does, she does everybody that I could think. Anybody that you're following digitally, I almost guarantee Barry has seen all of our offers and how we put together all of our offers. So she is like the person in all of our creative, packaging, pricing, the packaging, we all have lists. But she's seen all of us put together all of our packages. So she brings a bird's eye view of all of our strategies. And the powerful thing about that, like even for us, like all of us hiring Barry, what's so powerful about that is when she comes back into our company to do any of our virtual stuff, she brings this like next level, like this is actually what's working really well right now. This is actually what's working, and it like tweaks our stuff a little bit. Are you guys excited to meet her on Wednesday? She's amazing. She's one of my close dear friends. So she's amazing. So when you're listening to all of these guys, right? So I wish I could trade you all these days, but I designed a really good challenge for you. When she's teaching, when Jeff is teaching, and other amazing people are teaching, I want you to pay attention to these 2 areas. So I need you to write this down, because remember, how you take action is important. Like Dawn, I can't talk to you and Sean and David and Joanne and Cheryl and Kalina. Like I can't talk to all of you guys personally to know exactly what step you're in. So now you have to say, do I have a list of the 7,000 or more? And all of you have to learn how to package. I guarantee you, This is the thing I change all the time. And this is the thing the top leaders change all the time. We tweak and play with our packaging, which that affects our offers. That affects our offers. You get what I'm saying? Let me ask you really quickly. How many of you guys, it would really help if you could actually talk to someone? Would it help you if you could actually talk to somebody? Go in the chat and say yes or no. Would it big time? For sure. Yes, of course. Absolutely. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. So obviously like this won't, like I won't be able to talk to everyone, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a virtual coaching zone like I do at my 3-day events. And so we're going to open up a virtual coaching zone. Can you guys, I know it's a little early, but could you guys drop a link for that? Okay. They're going to drop a link. Watch the chats, whatever platform you're looking at right now, whether it's Faith or Jessica, watch the chats because when they drop it, it's going to book out because we probably have 6 or 7 coaches on and there's thousands of you guys watching on these platforms right now. So take a moment. I'll pause for a second. Take a moment, click that link and just pick a time because you know that my controllers and my promoters are all over that and they're just like jumping on and booking. So if you're an analyzer, like, I'm not sure if I want to do this, like take action and figure out what you're going to ask them later. But what I would also do is write down on a piece of paper so you can be clear. Write down on a piece of paper, what is the question you want to ask them? You know what I mean? And in the context as well, list and packaging. Like follow the coaching, keep the through line going through so you keep moving forward. I mean, my hope is after the 14 days, you guys have created some really good income. Who's up for that with me? Who's up for that with me? Who wants to create some really good income? Why don't you even go in the chat right now and put what's the income, your 2-week income that you're going to create? What's the 2-week income you're going to create? Go in the chat right now and post that. What's the 2-week income? 30,000, 10,000, 20,000, 25, 2,000, 300,000. We got some ambitious people. 5,000, 15,000, 500, 6,000, 10,000, 20,000. Woo woo! Yes. And when you do that, I want you to literally tag me on your success, okay? I want to hear about it. Okay. So look at when you're talking to a coach, look at what are you focusing on, list or packaging, so that you can ask a really strong question to be able to take you to that 15, 20, 5,000, whatever you said your 2-week goal is, like get obsessed with it. And I guarantee you it's going to be in one of these areas because if you focus on other things, then you don't have the foundation to tweak the right things. Okay. Okay, so now when we go on number 3, you must, repeat after me, I must be able to create 50 ways to create the money. I must be able to create 50 ways to create the money on anything. Okay, on anything. And this is going to be connected with your homework, by the way. And if you do this homework, we are going to be looking in our Facebook group. That's why I said it was critical to be in our Facebook group. I'm going to give away tomorrow morning 2 tickets for 3 days in Hawaii. So who needs a trip to freaking Hawaii right now? My girlfriend Lee Richter has been parking her little tushy up at the penthouse at the Four Seasons in Maui. And I'm like, oh, I want to come. Okay, so I'm going to send 2 of you, you and a friend, you and a husband, you and your sister, maybe a girl's trip, maybe a guy's trip, whatever that looks like. I'm going to send 2 of you guys for 3 days to Hawaii for actually doing your homework. And tomorrow morning, at 9 a.m., I will be announcing who actually won, and you got to be on live with me to win. Yes, this is a tactic. It's a tactic to get you to be on time because only 10% of people cross the finish line. So it's your job to get connected with the conversation of how much do you really deserve a 3-day vacation to Hawaii? And I don't mean at the Best Western Hotel. I mean quality, luxury, taking care of your self-worth and having some fun, okay? So we're gonna give that away. So here's the deal. It's gonna be connected with this step. There's 50 ways to create the money. I want you in the Facebook group to only put 5. You could do 5 or more, but the homework is you must create 5 ways to create the money. Okay, now what are some examples? So first of all, okay, so there's the example of maybe somebody says, you know what, I could discount my products and I could sell 3 VIP days to create the money. You might want to think, to make this very valuable for yourself, what do you need to create the money for? That would help you be really effective at this. And I'm a big believer, even when we're teaching sales and we role play with people, I'm a big believer in, when we do the role play, that it's real. Like Kalani and Alexandra, if I put you guys together to role play, I would be asking you questions like, do you really want her product? Like, could it really help you in your life? And once I got an alignment on that, I would teach you how to role play sales so that you crush it in sales, right? And so you need to be able to lead a conversation to be able to crush it, even by leading a conversation through a video, right? So one-on-one is the first step at getting good at sales, is being able to talk to somebody one-on-one. Because when you move to a platform, is anybody learning anything here? When you move to a platform one-to-many, you have to be able to speak to that one person really well on the one-to-many. That's how you have high conversions. So that's why you should actually learn sales one-on-one first. So from that place of authenticity, meaning I really want that, I recommend when you do this homework that you go all the way to 50 and you think about, what do I really need the money for? And it doesn't matter if it's business, personal, that doesn't matter to me. I want to get you in your freaking power. I want to get you in your power. There is always 50 ways to find the money. It might not be a way you want to do, but there's 50 ways. A great story actually connected to Barry, who's going to train on Wednesday. Barry was at a Jeff Walker event. I should get her to tell this story, but she was at a Jeff Walker event and there was somebody at the event living in his car. And she came to him, and it was Barry who actually brought in 50 ways to find the money in one of our events years ago. And she was telling me the story on a meeting, right? We were talking about, do you finance entrepreneurs? Do you make them figure it out? We were just talking through like what's best for the entrepreneur. And she goes, you know, we did this thing, 50 ways to find the money. And she told exactly what I said to you. And she goes, at Jeff Walker's event, there was this guy living in his car, and we taught this. And the guy came up and he said to Barry, who's running the event, Barry, like I have some ways to find the money. And Barry's like, dude, you're living in a car. She's like, I'm not sure investing in Jeff Walker's program is the right thing for you to do right now, because like, I'm concerned about your safety. And he literally was like, no. And this is tying back to leadership. The leader, Jeff, leading from the stage. And Jeff is not exactly high energy, crazy charisma. He's a good heart, smart guy, but he's not like, you know, he's not, I shouldn't be saying this a lot. He's not like, woo, like he's not like rocking the stage and like you're like, oh my gosh, like it's not like that, but he's a strong leader. And when he speaks and he's leading, people can see how they can get the result. That's why they're so successful. It's not the product launch he teaches, the tactic, it's how he teaches people that people become successful around him. Okay. And I would like to believe that about our community. 78%, remember the numbers, 10% of people ever finish a product. That's not even success rate, just finish it. 78% of the last quarter is our actual analytics and data of our clients hitting success. 78% of them hit their success. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. It's incredible numbers, but it's the way we teach people how to lead. So now go back to this event, and this guy's doing 50 ways to find the money, living in a car. And Barry's trying to discourage him to go take care of himself. So in other words, the guy in the car was actually enrolling Barry that this isn't like his state freaked her out. Like, I'm not sure that you should actually create any money for Jeff's program because you need to take care of yourself. That's logical, right? This guy did not listen to Barry. He went back to his car that night and he wrote out 50 ways to find the money. He found the money in a 3-day event, invested in Jeff Walker, and became one of his top success stories that next year. I have Shireen in my mind. She came to me on food stamps. I have no idea how she found the money, but she did her 50 ways to find the money. She found the money. And she did, I think it was 220 or 230. And this is not an income claim. I'm not saying you're going to make this type of money, but she was on food stamps. And sometimes I believe when things are really hard, when you have no choice but to make it, you make it. You know what I'm saying? And so not only did she crush it her first year, she crushed it her second year. And then she messaged me because Hay House picked her up because she has a nice email list now. And Hay House made her a best-selling author. And so again, she developed her leadership in the process. And so she was able to create those results. So I want you to sit down, and it's going to be hard to come up with 50 ways. So that's your first indicator. We say in our family, we have a new culture in my family, we do hard well. So if we notice that something's hard, we go into it versus saying, oh, I don't really feel like working out today. We do hard well, let's go. Like, it's actually a prompt. And if you've ever read BJ Fogg's book, Tiny Habits, motivation isn't the thing that creates results. It's actually the most riskiest because it's so inconsistent. Your feelings are inconsistent, which are connected to your motivation. So now I'm good now. You don't have to prompt me. What it comes down to is really your prompts. And like my prompt inside my family with our 6-year-old, my husband, true story, walked in the bathroom today and said, hey, Dave Woodward from ClickFunnels is doing a 75-day hard, which you work out 2 times 45 minutes a day, once outside, once inside. You can't drink alcohol, which my husband doesn't really do anyway. It drives me nuts because I'd like him to drink wine with me. But he can't drink alcohol. You have to be on a really rigorous diet. And I can't remember what else. But he's like, I'm going to do that with Dave. I love that. That's on the heels of getting clear in our family that we do hard well. For the sake of, we want our son to do this, right? So I want you to do hard well for the next 14 days. I'm really getting that habit. So if it's hard, sit your tushy down and don't go to bed till you write it. If you post 5 today before 5 p.m., Pacific Standard Time, because my team's going to stop at that point, right? So you got 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the Coach Yourself to Success Facebook group. If you post 5 of your 50, and you can post all 50 if you want, but if you post 5, you will be in the running to win the 3-night stay for 2, you and somebody else in Hawaii. Is that fair? So let's go in the chat right now. What's a way that you could create the money? Go in the chat. What's a way that you can create the money? Go in the chat right now. Retreats, right? Uber, workshops. Now remember, you need to create the money now. Right? Like, it can't be in 2 months from now, 3 months. I want you to learn how to create the money now. As an entrepreneur, you will run into moments that you don't have enough money. Great example, Amy Yamada. I taught her how to do an event stack. We teach this in my List Power program. Taught her how to do an event stack. And I told her to invest $90,000. She invested $35,000. She made $300,000, actually over $300,000 in 1 month. Her best month has been $100,000. She did $300,000. This just happened, but she invested 35, not 90. Here's where the breakdown is. She freaking crushed it. Imagine if she would have went all the way, did this exercise to find the money now to execute on the formula that I put out for her. Right? Imagine what she would have done, because she obviously, her leadership was on point. Did we agree on that? So now she actually hurt herself by not finding the money, because it's a higher risk the next month that she does it, because what if she's not on? What if her and her boyfriend break up? What if something happens? What if her dog dies? Right? Something emotional happens. We can't control that. So I guarantee you it's so important for when you're feeling the fire, when you're going after things, to go all in. So some of the ways: a 5-day challenge. Yep. Self-digital downloads. Let me see. One-on-ones. Yes. Uber driving. Yep. Sell my music. Do a challenge. Offer pages. Yeah. So here's what I'm also not: sell my clothes from my closet. So what about borrow the money? I borrowed money and I gave people 30% on their money. I text messaged people, by the way, that I didn't know. You know why they're easier? Because if you've broken your authority with people because you've done things and not followed through, they may not lend to you. I'd still go to them and try and enroll them. But remember, when you break your authority and you break your word, you've broken your leadership. And so those people closest to you know that. And so some people think like they feel bad that the people closest to them don't believe in them. But it's like, come on, like just have an honesty moment. They probably have a reason. Doesn't mean that it's true. It just means you're a higher risk to them. Where other people, you're not necessarily higher risk. There's also PayPal does installments to give you loans. We have a company that we're working with right now that does installments. Actually, check in with them and see, because it'd be great to give them that resource if we have it. We have a company we've been working with to help entrepreneurs find the money, because as much as I teach this, people still sit on the sidelines. Do yourself a favor. Find 50 ways. Is it borrowing money? Is it cutting people's lawns? Is it, going down and selling things on a street corner? I put up real estate signs around my community that said, I buy homes. And I went to a local real estate company, investment company. And I said, what are you guys looking for? Because I have a deal flow coming in. And I would get 40, 60 calls in one afternoon with my cell phone in my mailbox on my cell phone. And I would find out all the details to the house, what was the situation of the seller. And then I would bring that to the investment group, and the investment group would broker the deal, because I didn't have the knowledge to broker the deal, right? I didn't know how to do wholesale deals. They're called wholesale deals. I didn't know how to tie up a deed. So I didn't let my lack of knowledge stop me from making money, because I understand if I've got the leads, which is why I say your list is so important. If I've got the buyers or the leads for the investment group to buy, I am golden. I also figured that out in the coaching industry. If I keep focusing on my list building and my leadership, which is how I execute, then the sky's the limit for me. And it is for you too. So here's the deal. If you are just getting started in business, this is great. We're going to teach you a lot over the next 14 days. How's today been so far, guys? Go in the chat. Let me know. Give me some feedback. Anything opening up for you? So good. Good. So we're just getting started. I really am just setting the context for your brain to be able to consume everything that's going to be taught to you. Okay. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about how to make product offerings, how to position the product offering, right? So how to create products like offerings, and how to position it. So I'm going to do it from the context of leadership. So I'm going to give you the tactic, but I'm going to show you how to think about it so you're empowered to do it. So now you can change your packaging over and over and over again. So if you get an opportunity to speak in a Facebook group, or you get an opportunity to speak to like another audience, or you get an opportunity to build your email list or speak to them, whatever platform you go on, Instagram Lives, Facebook Lives, whatever, that you know how to make a package to make an offer to put real money in your pocket. I'm going to teach you that tomorrow. Who's excited about that? Okay. Now, if you're late tomorrow, then you're going to miss the context of it. And so be on time. And you guys on VIP, keep your videos on. Most of you guys had your videos on. Keep your videos on. Don't allow yourself off the hook. If you did not get an opportunity to upgrade to VIP, now would be a great time to do that. If my team can drop the VIP link. The reason why I say that to you is because VIPs, I wish everybody could see you on the different platforms, but just go in the chat really quickly and give me 1 to 2 words on how this morning was in VIP. So what we're doing in VIP on the VIP upgrade is we're talking about monetizing their business. So I'm giving them the backstage pass on everything I'm even doing inside the challenge. So impactful, empowering, mind-blowing, awakening. It was great. It was critical. It was energizing, emotional. It was fire, right? So on point, priceless. So these are some of the things that people are saying in the chat right now. VIP is with me on the Zoom. So if you want to join us in VIP, we're going to drop the link for that. We're not going to drop it for a bunch of more days. It's, what is it, $47 or $49? It's $49. It's super inexpensive. Monday through Friday this week and next week, we will actually be meeting with you at 8:15 California time in the morning. If you can't come, we are giving you guys the recordings. So you're good to go. We're giving you guys the recordings. We're going to be hot seating your money. We're gonna be hot seating your business, and we're gonna be teaching you how to monetize at that next level. So for me personally, I go all in, and I would do VIP. I would do VIP because I go all in. I want to get the most out of my time here. All right, you guys. So hopefully they drop the VIP link. All right, so let's end on this. Let's end on this. You guys got 24 hours between today and tomorrow before we come back together. Do the homework. Don't say to yourself, I'm not going to be the person to win the Hawaii trip. Let yourself be surprised that it gets to be you. I also recommend that if you're smart, I would put a folder on my computer that says master money sheet, master money sheet. And I would look at other people's 5 or more suggestions on how to find the money, right? And I would look at their posts and I would add to my master document. Be smart. Add to your master document. Sometimes like just even sitting down to do the 50, which we're on the honor system that you're going to do the 50 tonight, right? You only cheat yourself by not doing it. You only have to post 5 today. You've got till 5 p.m. to post 5, right? But I would go and read other people's stuff. Comment, right? Comment on each other's stuff. You got to make relationships. And Joanne and Veronica, Natalia, you guys, Kim, when you comment on other people's stuff, that is an evangelistic leader. Okay, you got to develop that skill. I know we're all busy. I'm busy. We're all busy, but you got to develop that skill. Your words matter for people. So if you like one of the things somebody put, say to them, oh my God, that was brilliant. I'm going to put that to my master list, right? Like edify them, empower them so that they boost up. Let's rise together. So, or just steal their stuff and add it to your master list. I don't know, one feels better. The empowerment feels better than just grabbing their stuff, right? And let's all rise together. All right, you guys, VIPs, I will see you at 8:15 tomorrow morning. And everybody else will see you at 9 a.m. California time tomorrow. Bye.